Today, we are reviewing Bitcoin's weekly structure, and more importantly, I'll explain why I personally focus on capital protection on Fridays instead of forcing trades, especially heading into the weekend. If we look at crypto currently, the entire market that is going to crypto bubbles, you see that the altcoins are doing well to an extent, but not all the altcoins are out there. And if you look at the fear and greed index, you also see that Bitcoin is now at 24 extreme greed. Yesterday it was 20, meaning momentum is getting back into the market. Investors are getting confidence. Traders want to start getting back into the market and take some trade. But the bad news is today is Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Oh boy, how are you all doing today, guys? It's Friday. What an amazing week we've had so far. We we have been, talking about crypto, looking at key levels, um, focusing on structure, ignoring the hype from the market, stay away from the Twitter noise or the X noise, and focus solely on data to make our decisions. That's why we have been successful so far throughout, um, you know, all this while we have been successful. And today, I want us to visit what we have been talking about throughout the week. Look at those key levels and see, are we at a point where we are gonna sit back throughout the week and say, "Oh wow, we are happy." Then Monday, Tuesday come, we start looking at opportunities to get in again. I'm gonna share with you guys all of this, like how I approach the market on weekends. I know most of you are aware already how I approach the market on weekends, but I'm still gonna share with you guys more on that. Oh, I'm now enjoying these glasses because it's blocking these lights that are flashing on my eyes, and my eyes are now sensitive to the light. All right, guys, let's dive. But if you haven't yet subscribe nice and early, like, and let's dive straight away into what I got for you guys today. Okay, good and fine. Bitcoin is now still in structure. Not like it's now. Bitcoin is still in structure on the weekly setup. Guys, we are bullish. Don't mind what anyone else will say to you. We are bullish until we take out this low year. That's when we become bearish for Bitcoin. For now, we are still bullish. Price is just holding key structure. I teach structure. I don't care what price has done. Yeah. What I care is if price is gonna hold. Yeah. Maintain structure because that's how price move. Break off structure, retest structure, then continue to break structure, continue to break structure again. And if it fails to break structure, then that's when I become concerned. Now, there's lots of liquidity here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you to say, okay, price is just gonna go. Let me just say, except something bad will happen that will take price straight away down there for now. But what I'm seeing is this: if we need to see the market makers take us to somewhere, at least, guys, it should be around the $108 price point. So the $108,000 price point or the $109,000 price point. They have to take us towards this liquidity here before they grab or before they make any attempt to go more downward. Of course, they can still, drop down here, then attempt this liquidity up here. Okay? But if they break this structure here, then attempt this liquidity here and fail, then we are doomed. Okay? We are doomed. Now, what I want us to look at here is basically what we have been talking about in the past, right? We are still in structure when you look at the chart of Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame and the daily time frame. We are still in structure. You can see clearly we are in structure. Lower, higher highs, higher lows, 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 and higher high. Is this the next low? No, I don't know. If we go and make the next high, then this become the next low, right? But for now, this is a major low that we need to still see price take out. So price is still in this range, respecting this structure. So what we want to see now is, okay, what has price been doing? Price has just been moving sideways. Price is doing nothing except for the fact that on the daily time frame, we created a new high, yeah, based on this previous dip. So based on this dip, or based on how price has been moving, moving sideways, this could mean the beginning of the next trend to the upside. Okay, but if we look back, you're gonna see that this candle actually, this red vector candle, is actually the candle that caused us to drop to the downside. So it's like price just retrace back to that candle, or to that area where we saw that retracement back to the downside, or that we saw that break of structure. Yeah, you can see this zone, yeah, it was a structure, yeah, and this kind of break it. So this movement back up, yeah, could mean that price is just visiting a key area that price visited in the past. You can see clearly if you take this zone back to the past, you see that this zone is clearly a key area that price has visited somewhere in the past. I'm just gonna take this back so we okay, I just wanna make it in a way that I take it nicely to the future. I'm going to the past. Let me see. Okay, nicely to the past. Yes, you can see this area has been respected multiple times. That's why I mentioned in one of my videos that because we have been respecting this area multiple times in the past, there's high chances that we're gonna respect it again in the future. That's why we saw this huge dip to the downside. But now this dip is literally is somehow funny. Why? Because the dip. Let me see. No, it's not actually funny. Why? Because of what I'm seeing here. You can see clearly. This was the lowest week around this area. Yeah. So if I have to mark the whole of this zone now, we are going to even have like we are going to have something really good here. So let me mark out of this zone. Yeah, this zone from here to this level, and then take it to the future. Let's see how the structure there looks like now. So if I have to go back now to let me reset the chart now. Okay, guys, you can see we are now sitting at this level here. This is an important level. Look at this rejection here. One, two, stay in that line. That look at the red line, and this line is in confluence to this this one here, this week here. You can see this one here, this zone here. Right. So price has gotten back to that area. You can see it here. Now, guys, um, this is good because now we are now looking at a key area that if say we lose this area and straight below this zone, then we are gonna be dumping even lower to the downside. So now let's just get to the 4 hours time frame. Let's get the flavor on the 4 hours time frame. Guys, I'm gonna go straight from 4 hours to 1 hour. Then I go to the 15 minutes time frame where we're gonna take our trades for today. The trade could be a long or a short. So based on the 4 hours time frame, you're gonna see that we are moving sideways. Now I want to extend this volume profile to the future, right? To the future from where we are. Okay, yeah. So now I have a nice and clean volume profile, with value area low, POC, and the value area high. So what I want to see now is for price to maintain this range, stay in this range, and don't break and close above, like below the value area low. I want to see price close, break and close above the POC, right? The line in the middle. So if price gonna break and close above the POC, then it means there's high chances that we can attempt this high again, yeah, around the $90,000 price point. And if we can attempt that high and stay above that high, right, then we can easily go back to the 96 and $97,000 price point because we have a huge chunk of liquidity here. Now going to the 1 hour time frame real quick. Let's see where we are. You can see that we have been rejecting this area here, rejecting. And at the same time, we have been also been rejecting um like this top here after this huge dip, So I would say we drop, we form an M here, we drop level one, level two, level three. So this could be the reverse of this move to the downside, because if you look at this we could count this as the level three also. But there's something here that I think they might easily want to take us back there. There's liquidity here. Oh, the graph some of it yeah. Yeah, but we still have this there's still some sort of liquidity around this area. So if they're not going to come here, then they want to continue to target this liquidity up here. And if they change character here and stay above 90K, guys, listen to what I want to say right now. Okay? If we, hello, hello, Jonathan, how are you doing today? Um, trust you are doing well. So if we see Bitcoin, like I've talked about this throughout the weekend, whether we are above the 90K price point, we are good. Okay. But if Bitcoin stays below the 90K throughout today on, mm, let's say on Saturday, then be careful on Sunday. Be careful. Now let's get to the juicy part. And again, before I continue, I want you guys to understand whatever altcoins you're buying, this is a TA I'm doing. Okay? This is the general TA. This is the macro TA of your altcoin. If Bitcoin is gonna move, your altcoin will move. So let's get straight away to the 15 minutes time frame. What do we want to see before we take that trade for today? Okay. Now, what we discussed yesterday is still valid. You can see we are in this box here, this I would say support and resistance zone based on the current structure or the current state of this price action. Now, let's see what has happened throughout like this session. Okay, I'm focusing now on today. So if we look at what has happened today, the market started around 89, let's say $89,000, and went right up to around um it, let's see around 90. Yeah, it went right up to around $90,000, right? Then throughout the Asian session, we saw a major dip around let's see around 89,500. Then UK took us a little bit downwards and break the low of Asia. And now price took us right to the the low of US yesterday. The low of US yesterday, this area, but it didn't take out the low of US. I see it didn't take out all of this US low, right? Because this was a US low that caused us to reverse back to the upside. So yesterday we saw this dip here, this dip during the US session after price has been moving sideways, consolidating sideways, and I drew this range here. So you can see the POC in the middle is actually separating the bottom level and the top level in this range. So now, what we should expect to happen today is simple based on what has been going on. You see that um, UK hasn't been able to take out the low of of US yesterday, and Asia also hasn't been able to take out the low of US yesterday and the high of of Asia UK. I mean the high of yesterday. Let me say the high of yesterday. So we are in the middle. If you look at this was the low and this was the high of yesterday. So we are in the middle around the high and the low of yesterday's price action. So if we see price take out this low today, guys, if we see price take out this low, watch this carefully. If we see price take out this low today, then be careful. We can go down to even $80,000 throughout the weekend. But if we take this high, which is gonna be above 90K, then we can go straight to about $94,000. That's the range based on what we have been seeing throughout the week, right? 94, 90, and even though we went right up to about $97,000, so they will take almost $98,000, right? But we should have to focus to we have to focus on what price has been doing before, right? We are not just gonna say, okay, we are buying for buying sake. No, we are buying because we want to get the right price or the best price from the market. That's why I always want you guys to be ahead of the curve. You guys should be what the guys who will make most of the profit from the market, and be the guys who get out from the market real nice and early, like real quick. So if you're joining for the first time now, this is what we have been talking about. I've looked at the key structures that we have been discussing of Bitcoin. I looked at um weekly setup, and based on the weekly setup, we are bullish. Like, Bitcoin is still in a bull market. Based on the daily setup, Bitcoin is still in a bull market. And based on the 4 hours time frame and still the daily time frame, we are ranging. We are moving sideways. And at the same time, on the weekly time frame as well, as much as we are bullish, we are also ranging sideways. So for us to be able to decide what to do, we need to see a major break of structure or change of character from the market. The market need to change, need to give us that flavor. But if the market is not giving us that flavor, there's nothing much we can do based on that. All we can do is wait and see how price react, or how price will not be reacting to key areas or key levels. And if price react positively, then that's when we want to start looking at the opportunities or possibilities to grab some or like get in full time your altcoins. I don't know how many of you are watching right now. If you're watching, if you have any questions, do comment, and I'm gonna respond to you accordingly. If you are watching and you have any question, you know, do post your question, and I'm going to respond to you accordingly. But I've looked at the most aspect of the market already. There's nothing really serious to look at again. I've looked at Bitcoin, I've looked at um you know the entire structure of Bitcoin. I'm gonna go now to look at other stuff like some few altcoins, right, as usual, and also I'm going to be able to look at um the general altcoin market to see what is going on there, at that level. But what I want you guys to understand is this. Um, I explained this a little bit yesterday. Fridays are the days where you stay away from the market. I'm gonna explain to you why. During Fridays, or towards the end of the US session, the market makers are not in business anymore. They are they are closed. Those who move market heavily are not working anymore, or they are spending their weekends with their families, right? So now the whales are in charge. The whales are the ones that are now in charge, of the market. So the whales actually move the market with low volume. That's why you see during the weekends, the volume is not really that significant. Remember last time I talked about Trump doing something or saying something that might cause the market to drop? Trump actually said something. I think that was on Saturday or Friday. I don't know, but he said something about Greenland or European tariff that caused Bitcoin to drop somehow, and gold, silver, were the opposite. They went to the opposite direction. But what I'm trying to say here is, when the market makers are not in the market and volume is low, there's no way you want to trade when volume is low. You trade when volume is high. And if you are trading when volume is low, it means you're putting your capital at risk. Okay? And you don't want to put your capital at risk because these whales, you know, they are not there for you, they are there for themselves. So that's why I try as hard as possible to stay away from the market, at least towards the end of the UK session. I want to see what UK is doing. If UK fails to break and close above Asia high, then I'm going to confirm they want to continue to mark price more to the downside. Like what is going on? I'm going to show you guys on the chart. You know, in a bit, what I'm trying to say here or what I'm trying to convey. Yeah, but I want you to understand this. These guys don't care about you. And if you want to trade, you have to trade at the right time when there's money in the market, when there's liquidity in the market, when the market makers are actually in business. You don't want to trade when they're not in business. So I usually get into the market on Wednesdays. This depends on how the market has been through other weeks. So if the market has been, let's say, bumping heavily from Sunday till Wednesdays. Wednesday usually is midweek reversal. So I started looking at my short on Wednesday. If the market has been dumping, let's say from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are the days you now come to the market and start looking for midweek reversal. This week it was Wednesday. Wednesdays we started seeing some flavor in the market, right? So you have to understand that the day, like the market makers, they have the days that they push the market to the upside and days that they push the market to the downside. And usually it's 3 days. If you start seeing the market doing well on Sunday or Monday, Tuesday, not that Wednesday, they're gonna reverse the price. If you start seeing the market doing bad on let's say on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Friday, note that on Saturday and Sunday they're gonna do like something good or Monday or right up to Monday. Then Tuesday, and they start doing the same thing again. You have to count 3 days. That's what I'm trying to say. At least 3 days. So before you start looking at possible reversal. That's how the crypto market works. That's what I've witnessed with the crypto market. So no matter what you are doing, you have to be able to analyze the market based on these time frames. Oh yeah, time frames. If you see the market in a bullish state, give the market 3 days. The market could be bullish. Then within the next 3 days, it gives you a better entry, right? So it doesn't mean that price must retrace back to where price started, but price, take out most of the gains that price gave you after every 3 days. At least take half of the gains that price gave you. So price can give you, let's say, 100% and take half of it. So you have to understand that if price gives you 100% and it's on Wednesday, which is 3 days, in a row, then if possible, sell everything and wait a little bit to buy back after the next 3 days, or the next 2 days. By that time, you must have gotten real entry zone, So I had to, explain this to you guys, those of you who are actually serious, to take your trading to the next level. This will really help you, go to the next level. Now, let's get back to, by the way, if you have any questions, if you are watching, you have any question, you are welcome to post your question. Greetings, Saw Blast. Greetings, Jonathan. I see you guys. I see you. I see you. I see you. You know, I see you. Now let's get back to the chart and see what we got here, because we have been talking, 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 and not actually getting back to the chart to see what we got. Yeah. So, okay, we have talked much about Bitcoin. I'm not gonna dwell on Bitcoin again now. I'm gonna go to Ethereum and see what Ethereum is doing. Of course, Ethereum is doing the same thing. The same thing. That's why I mentioned to you guys, Ethereum, Bitcoin, they move the same way. And if you look at Solana, the same thing. The same structure, the same movement, the same price action, and see clearly the same structure. Nothing is happening sideways. This is Ethereum. Yeah, see the same thing. Nothing is happening here. Look. If you go to any other coin, let's say mock coin, look, the same thing, moving sideways, low, high. If you go to Bitcoin, the same thing, moving sideways, you know, nothing serious is happening. So, guys, that's why I say if you analyze Bitcoin, you can now understand how to get in your altcoins. Let me now tell you how you're gonna get into your altcoins. Okay, so if Bitcoin is gonna make a huge move to the upside, this is what you wanna do. Look at your altcoin before that. So if you are analyzing, if you have done analyzing Bitcoin, like let's say we are done analyzing Bitcoin. Now we are on breadcoin. So let's say for example your altcoin is breadcoin, all right? And this is what this bad boy is doing now. Okay, the same thing as Bitcoin, this up now moving sideways. So if you see Bitcoin make that huge move to the downside, all right, and held structure, and you see the same thing happens, then you see, let's say you see a bullish engulfing candle with Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin start moving to the upside, then automatically we can confirm that Bitcoin is gonna move also to the upside. Why? Because of market structure. You can see Bitcoin, even though the price is choppy a little bit, but it has been respecting structure ever since. You can see from down here, you can see it's making higher highs, higher lows. You can see higher highs, higher lows. You can see clearly, So the previous low, this is the previous low. It hasn't been taken out. I would say this one. Yeah, this one hasn't been taken out. It's still intact. Okay, so you can now say that if say Bitcoin is gonna do well when the market is gonna open, then that's when you're gonna cash some profit from this Bitcoin, and your target should be targeting, or your TP should be targeting the previous high, right? You can use 10x, 20x leverage, but you know what I'm trying to say, all right? Don't play with leverage, by the way. And let's talk about the false move, right? Well, we have been talking about what you need to do before you buy, but now what you need to do before you sell or before you get out from the market. This is UK. UK started here around here, and UK hasn't been able to take out its own high, right? So let's put our volume profile here from the UK session, from the beginning to the end of the UK session, and this is on the 15 minutes time frame. If we see price break and close above this level here, then we are gonna be going up. If we break and close below this level, then we're gonna be going down. The same thing I do every session. Okay, this is what has been happening throughout the UK session today. So if you see Bitcoin break and close below here, then you're buying your altcoins. So you're selling your altcoins. But you can sell your altcoins now, right? I mean, if you're that person yeah, if you are like you buy for 7 days, so you buy for 3 days, or you are a weekly trader, then now you can sell your altcoins or cash out some profit if you're in profit. I doubt whether you are in profit anyways, because But what I'm talking now is for traders, anyways. If I doubt whether anyone is in profit because the market left. If you look at, you can see where we left, right up there, and we dip down here, and we have been moving sideways. So what we are doing now is getting the best entry, right? And if we lose this zone, then we cannot buy anything. And if we go above this zone, then we can buy. So if you are already in a trade right now, and the market opens and you see price do something like this, and it is like a weak or like false move, right? Then if you see the candle close below this zone, below the UK session, high and low, then you want to get out from your altcoin. But if you see something like this when UK, you know, then you see buyback, then you want to get in. So this is what you are going to doing, or like doing, like just monitor the market. If you see a dip here, wait to see whether they're going to be buyback. But focus on the daily time frame. So focus on the 1 hour time frame for this to happen. Okay, the 1 hour time frame will give you more perspective for this. So if say we see that huge candle close above here, then it's gonna be good to continue upward, and the candle should take out this previous high here, this zone. Now let me mark the zone that we need to take out. I think that's gonna be more easier for you. This zone around 90,000. So if we stay above this zone here, we take out this zone, and we see a full candle close above this zone today, then that's good news for altcoins throughout the weekend. But if we are not able to break and close above, instead we see like a fast move to the upside with like it's yeah, a fast move that is kind of like liquidity hunt, to the upside, then we know that they want to continue to mark price downward, provided or like yeah, providing we have been seeing this like this was the previous high here on this time frame. You can see the price has been choppy sideways. And something else we can do here is this. We can bring in the volume profile still, yeah, and then mark it from the whole of this week, right? Let's say from yeah, and to the future, and see how like where we are. So you can see clearly if we are to stay above this area, as I mentioned earlier, then we are going to be good to go to the upside. You can see it's just lining with each other. Price is just lining with each other, exactly the way we analyzed it earlier. You know. So guys, that's what I've been working on today, and my plan thing, how I'm gonna approach the market, how I'm going to get in, get out easily without um, you know, losing my mind. Yeah. So if you have any question, guys, post your question. I think I've come to the end of this video. Let me look at liquidity first, you know. But let's see what go. Okay, guys. Oh, I almost went without go away without talking about gold and silver. This is silver. Remember, I mentioned that silver, the psychological zone for silver is going to be around 99 sorry, $100. We are approaching that price point. And I also mentioned that for gold it's going to be $5,000, right? And I think gold is getting there as well. I mean, yeah, gold is getting there, right? Towards that $5,000 price point. Yeah, we are going to get in there. That's also the psychological level for gold, right? So yeah, silver, gold has been doing extremely well. But pay attention to the 100,000, the $100 price point for silver, because this could be a psychological level where they might reverse price from. You have to be careful from now on. If say you are trading silver or you are holding silver, try to cash out some profit already, and because from here we can get a major dip right back to $80, and with gold from $5,000 we can see a dip as well that take us back to around $4,300. So these are the key levels I'm looking at for gold and silver. Let's see USD dominance, whether the flavor here is awesome. Okay, the flavor is awesome. Why? I think we might, from where we are, we might dump from throughout the weekend. So if we see USD dominance dumping, then crypto might really do well. But if we see it break this level here above, then we are doomed. you know but I'm looking at this to be some sort of like an M to dump this, like to grab this liquidity below here. So if this move fails, then we can continue to mark price, or yeah, continue to mark to the downside, right below, right down towards this 4,900%. Sorry, 4.9% for USD dominance. Okay. So yeah, guys, just be careful today. We have lots of resistance above price with USD dominance. So I doubt that they're gonna just get away and break that level. That's why I think we might see Bitcoin do well. Since gold and silver are doing well already, Bitcoin might do well. So guys, if you are watching, you have any question, post your question, and I'm gonna respond to you accordingly. So, this is it. It's weekend, and rules where you're gonna either stay away from the market, buy more, or you know, you do nothing, right? Oh boy, the browser I'm using is really strong, so it's taking out most of my encoder is struggling to you know like give you guys a better signal. That's why I have to take out this browser most of the time so that I can have a clean stream. It works only when I'm not having any or when I'm not sharing my screen. So I'm not like lagging and all those stuff that happens when you're live. So that's it for today's show. All the best to you guys and see you in the next one. Happy weekend to you all. Bye bye. And stay safe. Protect your capital. Protect your money. Don't give it to the market makers. Get out from the market when it's time or when it's early. Don't be there